Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another recap video. Today I'm going to be going over my trade on MULN. So basically, what I liked about this setup or stock. So yesterday, so it's March 1st, Tuesday, yesterday, February 28th, this thing traded pre-market, went from 95 cents all the way up to about $1.95, I guess. Yeah, basically I made a whole dollar move. So, and then you get this gap up pre-market, but then it starts to fail. So one thing I wanted to point out was, basically, well, first things first, this thing had the meat. It had all that room to the downside from previous days buyers volume. And as you can see how this 13 EMA trend held pretty much most of the day and into after hours. So 30-minute time frame, 13 EMA trend was basically the main trend. And this morning when I looked at it again, I was like, wait a minute, what's this? See, you get your first trend break. On top of that, you have this trend line that you can draw in these lower lows, that gives you that bigger time frame trend on the higher lows as well. So once I saw that, then if you zoom in, you can kind of see basically, I drew this trend line and then basically started looking for your support resistance levels. So the first one, we had this support from after hours at 153. Then you had your 214 highs. Then there was some resistance here at that 187. See, same as yesterday or previous day's resistance. So you got, that's one. And then I was gonna put one at $2 because whole dollar levels, key levels. And then you had this 176 from this high over here became support. So that was kind of, 175. That was like another key resistance. And then at this point, near the open, it looked like it was basically going to start to, I was like, they're probably going to break that support. And then we're going to see like a little pop at the open. So another thing that I saw, this was pre-market, you had this little other trend line forming. So now let me take off this 13 EMA just so you can see it's more visible. I like the clean price action look. So you have this other, come on, I'm trying to grab it, this other trend line. Okay, why isn't it? Alright, well, you get the point. So basically, you see that you get this big overall trend break, right? It broke right here, and then retests the red. If it goes below that 169, it was going to be red on the day. because that's what it closed at or the previous day. And then you get this little higher low, attempted to break out, but it didn't. But basically, you had this other trend. So then that failed, resistance failed, broke this trend, and then it started breaking down. So at this point I was like, all right, you know what, my pre-market watch list plan basically became short pops into 175, 187, and then $2 if it got there. I don't know if it was gonna get there, but I was thinking $2 because it lines up with the trend line. Sometimes when they do move up, they end up retesting that trend line, maybe sometimes. But in this case, let's bring it down to the 1 minute. So basically right out the open, I just waited, and I was like, let it hit my first order. And basically that was gonna be like, all right, full attention on this. So basically that order filled, and then as soon as I saw that rejection, I was like, oh, I like this. I need to start adding here, even if it's another bullet. Because that was basically like, okay, that first resistance rejected hard, so that means add into it because it's probably selling pressure. Then second thing was, once it broke this previous low, or it was gonna break that low, that was basically like, okay, your first lower low. But that rejection was pretty hard, so, and look at that, it was almost 6 million shares in just that one candle. 6 million. So it was a lot of volume. So the fact that it broke this support added more. Then you get that lower low, and then boom, retested right into 155. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna start adding as it pops into this area here. Got some at 155, 160. I was waiting for it to kind of maybe retest 165 or 170 again. I was gonna have some orders there, but then I saw this hard rejection, and I just basically figured, you know what, let me just add the rest there, and hopefully it doesn't reverse and break over pre-market high, or break over that first high over 175. But in that case, it would have been wrong, because then it would have gone from red to green. So then that's like reversal. But the fact that 162 held or failed, that was basically like confirmation that it wasn't gonna go back higher. So then I just, once I added that, I basically waited for this pre-market low break, which was at 153. Kind of held, and then boom, we got that big flush. Broke 150, and then at this point, I was basically thinking, all right, I have a good average. I think it was like 163. And then I figured, all right, at one, I'll be okay to start scaling out below 150, and I'll take it, 145, and I'll just start taking them in 5-cent increments on the way down. So I figured, 145, 140. Right here is about to flip, so I took one off just to be safe. 135, 130. And at this point I was like, all right, this is kind of pretty far away from the high of the day. I don't know if it will continue or if it still will, but just in case, I'll take some more off, near that 135. I was gonna take the rest off if it went back over 145, but since it didn't, I ended up leaving my orders and I put them back down into that 130 area again. And then from 130, I figured I'd just take it down to 120s. So I just spread those orders out, basically, 130, 127, 125, 126, 125, 124, 125, and then my last one, one at 20, and then one at 130. And then at that point, I was basically all out of my position. But this thing just kept going after that. Let's see, 85 cents. Lordy. But yeah, so obviously you can see this thing had more meat on it than damn. I don't know. These are rare. I think IMPP also something crazy like this drop happened. But yeah, that was basically the breakdown of my thought process in the trade. I ended up getting like 20% move from my entry average to my exit average, so that was pretty good. Just looking at this now, I'm just like, damn, like should have just hold longer. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way, so it's like just be happy with what you can get and walk away, and then just on to the next one. That's it. So yeah, that was pretty much my entire trade on MULN. If you guys have any questions, you already know, hit me up in my Discord. I'll put a link in the description if you want to join that. It's free. Post a comment down below, like the video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.